Donald Trump is fuming. He's foaming at the mouth, apparently, over the MeidasTouch reporting about his deteriorating health. Now, Donald Trump attacked the MeidasTouch network earlier during last week. He was showing interviews that I did with the Attorney General Eric Holder. Apparently, we're living rent-free in Donald Trump's head as he's fuming over our coverage, thinking, how is he going to attack us next? By the way, before I go into more about what's going down in this video, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on our way to 6 million subscribers. We're under attack from the Trump regime, from state regime media known as Fox. We need your help to try to get us to 6 million subscribers. You may think you're subscribed, but you may not actually be subscribed. So please hit subscribe. So yep, Donald Trump fuming over the coverage that we've been doing over his deteriorating health, and as he stews in his own rot. Here's the type of things that he was posting last night. Trump blasts Indiana Republicans who defied his redistricting pressure. Ooh, Donald, we're so scared of you. Then he goes, the Baseball Hall of Fame committee is voting on admitting new members tomorrow. And these highly respected owners, executives, and most importantly, Hall of Famers need to do the right thing and put Roger Clemens in the Hall of Fame. Dude, just deal with your freaking job. Like, people are struggling right now in this country. They can't afford things. Healthcare is being ripped away from them. People are psychologically tortured, living paycheck to paycheck, if they can even get a paycheck, because job losses right now for this year total over 1.1 million. Job losses are up 54% this year versus under former President Biden. And guess what, by the way? You know how we've been always reporting here that Donald Trump's $23 trillion of investment into the United States. Remember we told you that's one big scam? The total investment, foreign investment into the U.S., basically the same exact as it was under former President Biden, right around $4 to $5 trillion. CBS did a report, and it confirms our reporting at the MeidasTouch network. But you see, Donald Trump didn't just say, oh, it's just investments into the United States. I mean, Trump implied that a lot of this came in the form of tariffs, like direct cash exchange, where these tariffs sit on a tariff shelf. And he just goes, oh, check the tariff shelf. That's what he was saying. And again, more lies from this deranged grifter, Donald Trump. And speaking of this deranged grifter, so yesterday, 70 years ago, from the anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott, which showed the world the power of courageous, disciplined, non-violent resistance, and Dr. King's leadership showing how to unite communities across the country, guess what Donald Trump announced? Martin Luther King Jr. and Juneteenth Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth would no longer be considered for free days at U.S. national parks. That's been removed. And instead, Trump's birthday is now the free day instead of Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth. What a morally repugnant scumbag Donald Trump is. And you could try to come up with better words, but sometimes I just think this criminal, this felon, this sexual abuser, this despicable invasive species, as Governor Newsom calls him, I don't know what else you can call him. But look, as I said, as Donald Trump's out there, you know, what was he doing yesterday? He did this event leading up to the Kennedy Center Awards where he was talking, I didn't even know, he was talking about how he loves designing new tiles in the Lincoln bathroom. And he was going like, ping pong, ping, ping pong, ping pong. Like, I don't know what this guy was even. I'm going to show you the receipts. You're probably like, Ben, dude, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to show you that in a moment. But let's talk about what was going down yesterday in Kentucky, where somebody who was at this food bank line who's seen this goes, I've never seen the line this long at this food bank in Kentucky. This is 4 times the size of every previous year. We have only been to this one 4 times since 2017, but this year the line wraps around the building a second time to the left behind those rows of cars. Everyone is freezing, and an older lady in line had to be taken inside because she looked like she was about to pass out from being too cold and shivering. You know what? How the elite are describing this economy. They call it a K-shaped economy. And, you know, think about the letter K. So one line goes up, one line goes down. The line that's going up, it's Donald Trump rich billionaire buds. That's where it's going up. They're screwing over and stealing from the people. The K line going down, where there's basically a great recession taking place right now in the actual economy where most people live, not the fraud-laden BS AI, whatever, speculative economy where the billionaires are making more money than ever before. All right, so as I mentioned, Donald Trump held this weird event at the, leading up to these Kennedy Center Awards. And as I said, he was like, ping, 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 ping. I mean, this guy is deranged. Here, play this clip.
Ping, 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 ping. Everybody thinks that, oh, this guy, oh.
And then Donald Trump also said, he goes, the Truman administration, they put cheap tile into Lincoln's bathroom, but Donald Trump, put in good tile. Here, play this clip.
For the first 4 years, I was the hunted, so I didn't have a lot of time to fix up the floors, to redo the Lincoln bathroom. I took a little heat. It was the worst job. It was done in many years ago. It was done during actually the Truman administration with very cheap green tile. That was in Lincoln. Now we have it done in beautiful, beautiful Paradiso marble. It's all book matched. It's so beautiful. And people said, oh, why is he wasting time? That's not wasting time. That's saving our heritage. Many, many things like that. It's saving the heritage of this country. And it's so...
Then earlier in the day, we heard from the war criminal himself, Pete Hegseth, and you'll see how this deranged interview takes place with this propagandist interviewer who's saying to Pete Hegseth, the IG report, the Inspector General report, cleared you, but would you still use Signal again? And Pete Hegseth responds to the propagandist, like this stuff's right out of North Korea. Hegseth goes, I don't have any regrets. I wouldn't change a damn thing. I would do exactly as I did. He's telling us here that he would use Signal again to have classified conversations on his public phone, on his regular phone. We all should realize the Defense Department built a SCIF in Hegseth's home during these attacks on Yemen, and it still exists today. They gave him a phone that was secured. They gave him a computer that was secured. They built the SCIF. Hegseth walks outside, picks up his phone, and starts blabbering about the war plans in Yemen. And the Inspector General didn't clear him of everything. The Inspector General's report said the Secretary's actions created a risk to operational security that could have resulted in failed U.S. mission objectives and potential harm to U.S. pilots. Now, one of the things we know as well is that the Inspector General was not able to actually interview Hegseth. He refused to show up. The Inspector General did not get Hegseth's phone. He refused to turn over his phone. So they just based it on the one text message exchange that we all saw in the public because the Hegseth and that crew invited a journalist from The Atlantic inadvertently. They inadvertently included him on the group chat, but we don't know what else Hegseth did. He may have had hundreds of other You think that was the only one? Come on, of course the guy had other conversations. In my opinion, he did, that is. And think about this. How do you know that foreign agencies did not access Hegseth's phone? We know that foreign agencies access the phones of other Trump regime officials. We know that's how we learned that Trump laundered the 28-point Russian surrender plan to try to get Ukraine to surrender. It seems like it was probably European intelligence or another intelligence service that got into these phones of these Americans and Kushner and what's his name, Witkoff. So they can get into your phones. How do we know foreign intelligence to get into it? Here's Hegseth saying he has no regrets. Play this clip.
Speaking of time, we're running short, but I know the IG report cleared you with Signal. If you had to do it again, would you have used it before combat operations?
I don't live with any regrets. It's not a healthy way to live. And I know exactly where my compass is on these troops, which is why you've seen, and same with the president, the revival of the spirit inside our military. I would encourage some reporters here to spend some time with actual formations of units, Marines, soldiers out there, combat arms folks.
And then Hegseth is asked a question, when are you going to release the video of the double tap, of the double strike, that September 2nd strike where the but just so you're clear on my view, I've said this before, just so you have no ambiguity where I stand, all of these operations off the coast of Venezuela and in the Pacific by Hegseth, to me, are war crimes, every aspect of it. And perhaps it's not even a war, so it's just freaking murder or crimes against humanity. So let's be clear. And certainly when you kill the survivors, that's extra war crimes. But let's see the video. Let the American people see the video, right, Hegseth? He's like, well, we're not sure we can show that because that deals with our sources and methods. Sources and methods of what? Just killing people, killing survivors, killing people who don't deserve to die, who are going to Suriname, who are not even. The boat, we know, was not headed to America. The boat was going east from Venezuela east. Not, go look at a map, okay? East is not where the United States of America is from Venezuela. But Hegseth goes, yeah, we probably won't be able to show you that video. That's classified. Here, play this clip.
After Admiral Bradley's meetings on Capitol Hill with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, President Trump said he would have no problem if the full video of the strike is released. When can we see that video? When will you release it?
We're reviewing it right now to make sure sources, methods, I mean, it's an ongoing operation, TTPs. We've got operators out there doing this right now. So whatever we were to decide to release, we'd have to be very responsible about. So we're reviewing that right now.
And then Hegseth is asked about another a war crime where they blew up a submarine in October. And then the survivors of that strike were then returned to their countries of origin and just let go. Not even prosecuted because there was no evidence to prosecute the people. But Hegseth is like, well, we have protocols for the survivors. Dude, nothing you're saying makes sense. You killed the survivor. Do you not even understand what the hell you're saying, Hegseth? Or you do, or you're just a war criminal and this is what nonsensical war criminals sound like. You killed the survivors in early September. Then there was an identical situation in October involving a submarine, and you didn't kill the people. Instead, the United States military picked him up, and they were let free, not even criminally prosecuted. So in one example, murder. In the other example, not even a criminal prosecution, and that makes sense to you? Here, play this clip.
A submarine, you don't go fishing on a submarine full of drugs. And in that particular case, the first strike didn't take it out. A couple guys jumped off and swam, from what I understand, a ways away. When we struck the submarine a second time, it sunk. And then you had two people that you had to go get. And we had the ability to go get them. We gave them back to their host countries. That's a story that's already been out in the public. So we didn't change our protocol. It was just a different circumstance. So.
And I've showed this on a lot of videos, but I have to show it again. On this one, repetition is important because this is not getting nearly enough attention. I did a video about it yesterday, though, and it got over 1 million views, but I got to keep on talking about it. That the new national security strategy of the United States of America, an official national security document talking about America's military, geopolitical strategy internationally. This is the main document saying this is what America stands for. Regime change in Europe, the destruction of the European Union, specifically cultivating resistance to Europe's current trajectory within the European Union, ending the perception and preventing the reality of NATO as a perpetually expanding alliance, reestablishing conditions of stability within Europe and strategic stability with Russia. In other words, help Europe become friends with Russia, destroy the European Union, and stop expanding NATO. That's written there. That is an official Trump statement on American foreign policy. And can you think of anything more pro-Putin, more of a Putin bootlicker than that? Than that right there? And lastly, let me just show you what Senator Captain Mark Kelly, an actual war hero, said to his wife as a congresswoman. His wife was previously shot in the face. You know the story about her. Here's what he said when he learned that Hegseth said that he would be going after Kelly. Here's what Kelly said. Let's play this clip.
When Pete Hegseth tweeted that he was going to prosecute me under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, I see this tweet. I take out my phone and I read it verbatim to Gabby. And by the second sentence, she starts laughing. She laughed and laughed. She laughed through the whole thing because she realizes two things. One, that guy's a joke. And number two, I'm not backing down.
Yeah.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.